Can you tell us a little bit about that training experience? Or?
Oh yeah, it was funny. We left Columbus, Ohio, because that's where I was living. That afternoon, that evening, about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and we didn't get to San Antonio about 1 o'clock in the morning. And by the time I got my bunk and whatnot, it was like 2:30 in the morning. And so I immediately went to sleep. I was tired. The next thing I know, it's 5:30 in the morning, and some blankety blank is yelling, "Feet on the floor!" Tomorrow. Where's my cup of coffee? So that was my introduction to military life. It didn't take long to figure out, that you had to go along, get along, do what you had to do. And my roommate and I did not get along. He was a Southerner from Alabama, and I was a Northerner from New York, and we were just boiling water. But it didn't take us long to figure out that if we didn't work together, we would never leave that base. Because they've been on a demerit system, and you had to clean the room and do all sort of kind of stuff. So that system taught you to work with people that you would not normally want to be with. And it's a very good system. And it's very, very intense. You take a lot of coursework, and then you do physical training and marching in the afternoon. They gave you 8 minutes to eat a meal. 8 minutes. Marched in there. This was actually, I forget the name of the base. Lackland was the main one. This was a smaller one at Randolph Air Force Base, but basically the same deal. I just forget the name of the base. And you'd be surprised. Not a lot of talking when you only have 8 minutes to eat a meal. Now, the only exception was Sundays. Sundays you could take your time eating. But that was it. And the hardest thing for me was marching. I hate, to this day, I hate marching. But I practiced and practiced and practiced. I made myself good at it. And I graduated, distinguished graduate. Went on for pilot training at Laredo Air Force Base. And I washed out of there in about 4 months. It was not good. And so they sent me off to nav school at Mayfair Air Force Base. And Mayfair Air Force Base is, unfortunately it's closed now, but it was the best kept secret in the United States Air Force. It was, for a young guy, and we're talking late 60s, it was heaven on earth. Great weather, really, and I loved the program. It was just, so it was fun doing what you had to do. It was a lot of work. It was a year program, and I got out of there. And my first duty assignment was the 119 gunship, the C-119, the old boxcar. And quite frankly, the thing is a piece of crap. It was a piece of crap when they made it. It was a piece of crap all through the years, and didn't improve any.
Are they still using it?
No, God, no. Thank God they got rid of it. I flew, well, let me back up. Before I got to fly the 119, I had to go through survival school. And I was up in Spokane, Washington. That's 8 or 9 days, 9 days, 10 maybe what it was. And the last part of it is a 7.5 days out in the wild where they give you 1,500 calories. And you have to survive for those 7 or 8 days. And they send you go from point A to point B to point C, and every day you're traveling 4 or 5 miles through some of the most horrendous, thick brush, no trails or anything. I mean, it's just all really just mountainous territory. And kind of a funny story with that. My roommate was with me, a guy named Captain Andy Steele, and his family grew up in the mountains. This guy was the best outdoorsman I've ever met in my entire life. He knew more than the instructors do. So we made fishing line out of a parachute and some hooks that you made from the inner part of the chute. My whole element, we got together and fished for one day. We caught 16 fish. I caught one, somebody else caught another, and Andy caught 14. which he shared. On that particular, we caught and trapped and ate a chipmunk. That shows you how hungry we were. So it's just, so you finish that. During that time, an accident, small accident before we took the trek, and I had seen a flight surgeon, and he noticed a large lump in my neck, and he says, that's got to be looked at. So he made me promise that before I left for Southeast Asia, I would have that looked at. So I get down to, make a very long story short, I do sea survival in Florida, and then we go to a small base in central Ohio where we got checked out on the basic 119 as a navigator, because you had to do that first, and that was a piece of cake. It was a basic navigation. That's all they had anyhow. You know, nothing sophisticated. God knows. The thing was barely ocean going. And then we went to the gunship version, and since I was a junior officer, navigated for very few hours. They put me as a sensor operator. We had a visual sensor that would look out, and that would actually physically aim the weapon system.